versus your friend Shingo. Oh God, Tagaki.
Coach Shingo Takagi. Kojima is he's a great champion. He's been around a long time, but it is Shingo time. He is not going to lose back to back. They're going to build him up, possibly for the G1. I don't know, but he gets a very impressive win over Kojima.
Agreed. I think it's a match where Shingo will get a victory here and just get to showcase himself a little bit. Next, we have a tag team match. It's Jushin Thunder Liger and Yoshihashi versus Suzuki Gun of Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr.
No reason to think Suzuki Gun should not win this. I know they're building up Liger and Suzuki pretty well, but you can keep Liger strong by not having him take the pin, and ZSJ and Suzuki getting the win here. So my vote goes to Suzuki Gun.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Suzuki Gun will get the win, and maybe Yoshihashi is there to take the L, as they say. 6-man tag team match. So we have Hiroshi Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, and Taguchi versus Jay White, Chase Owens, and Taiji Ishimori.
Bullet Club's going to get the win here. I'm sorry, it was Tanahashi, Juice, and who's the third member?
Taguchi.
Yeah, Taguchi. I mean, he had a great shot, surprisingly strong showing in the Best of the Super Juniors, but unfortunately, I think he might take the pin here. Jay White's going to stay strong. Actually, yeah, I'm going to stick with Bullet Club on this one. Ishimori, lost his title. He's kind of on the way back, and Jay White is probably a front runner for winner of the G1 this year. So I say they're making Bullet Club stay strong.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bullet Club as well. I think I know they've been doing some stuff between Tanahashi and Jay White. Jay White just beat him right the other day, as you were mentioning earlier. So I don't know if that's the end of it or not, but I'm going to say that Bullet Club wins and goes. I don't know, maybe keep Jay White strong, as you said. Next is the singles match for the Never Openweight Championship. It's Taichi versus Tomohiro Ishii.
Taichi and Ishii. Taichi beat Jeff Cobb for the title, and right after he beat Jeff Cobb, but he beat him with some dirty tactics. He beat him with a referee distraction, a microphone to the face, which is, if you're going to beat Jeff Cobb, that's how you do it. But right afterwards, he goes and he calls out Ishii. And then there's a great picture of Ishii like this. He's like, "You want to fight me?" So, I love Ishii so much too, but I don't know if they're gonna drop the title this quickly again with that Never Openweight title. It's another title in New Japan that plays hot potato. So I'm gonna say somehow, some way, Taichi finds a way to hold on to it and hopefully keep his pants on.
I'm going with Ishii because that's the only way I can go. Gorillas of Destiny versus LIJ, Sonata, and Evil for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship.
This one's tough because we have another impending match between the GOD and the Briscoes at some point, probably at the pay-per-view coming up later this month. I don't really know if Sonata and Evil can afford a loss here. I mean, they've been losing a lot lately. So I'm going to say we get an upset. We might even get a Briscoe brothers run in. Imagine that. They go all the way to Japan to get a little run in here.
I'd be so mad if I was them.
Dude, I mean, listen, you go to Japan, you go down to Roppongi, you have a couple of Sapporos, and you run in on a match. I don't know. I just feel like you can't have Evil and Sonata lose again unless they're going to go singles. So for me, I'm going to say we get an upset here, and the GOD drop the title to Evil and Sonata.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's going to be Evil and Sonata taking the titles here, and maybe GOD will finally lose it to the Briscoes at some point in the United States soon. Let's go to the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match, which you mentioned earlier. It's Dragon Lee is the champion defending against Will Ospreay.
Oh, man. This is so good. I've watched a lot of Best of Super Juniors this year. It's thankful to New Japan World for uploading each match individually, too, so I can go through and pick the tournament matches. Dragon Lee has been criminally underrated. And Will Ospreay right now, to me, is a top 5 professional wrestler in the world. He's put on some size, but he could do everything he could do, 20 pounds ago. But right now he does it better. I do believe Will Ospreay will be in the G1. This comes down to will Ospreay be in the G1 with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title or not? I don't see how you have him do what he did in the Best of Super Juniors and not win the title. Dragon Lee is phenomenal. I love watching him, but he's not a full-timer in New Japan. So I say Will Ospreay takes the title.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think for that last point that you mentioned, which is, to have Ospreay put on the performances and then get the win in the Best of Super Juniors and then have him lose a title match shortly after would not make much sense to me. So I'm going to go with Will Ospreay to get that title on this show. We have the Intercontinental Championship, which is Kota Ibushi defending against Tetsuya Naito, which is a rematch from the MSG show that we were at a few months ago.
Joe, you take this one. I'm still up in the air.
I'm going to go with Ibushi, and I feel like they really need to get Naito back into the heavyweight title picture. And I don't know. I mean, you can swap the Intercontinental title here again. I just don't think that's just not what I would do. So I'm going to say that Ibushi retains the Intercontinental title, and maybe Naito can move on to a different feud over something different.
Part of me thinks the loser of this match wins the G1 this year. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Ibushi just signed the lifetime deal with New Japan. The guy is literally going to be with New Japan Pro Wrestling until the day that he dies. That's an amazing deal. That's like a Rick DiPietro kind of contract or a Bobby Bonilla contract. However, Ibushi's 36, maybe 35, and he's literally just getting better. He's up there with Will Ospreay as one of the best wrestlers on the planet. I am going to agree with you on this one for the sole purpose of Naito needs to be by the heavyweight title picture. He's also not getting any younger, but LIJ is as over as they ever have been. So I'm going to say Naito.
You're going with Naito?
Naito.
Okay, because I went with Ibushi, right? So we're going against each other on this one, is what you're saying.
So hold on. I got Naito in my head because I see Naito in the G1 winning the G1. Ibushi retains, Naito goes on to the G1.
There we go. All right.
Because the G1's going to start probably a month and a half from now, and I don't think New Japan has any of the bigger shows between then. So Ibushi holds on to the title. Naito wrestles in the G1. Gotcha. Yeah. Same thing.
So the main event is the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. It's Kazuchika Okada versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah, bloated Jericho loses.
Oh, that's just mean-spirited. That's not right at all.
No, Jericho's match with Omega at Double or Nothing was a little underwhelming. Nothing, however, was as underwhelming as his terrible finishing maneuver, the Judas effect. Are you shaking your head in disagreement with me, or are you shaking your head because of my statement?
That's just not right. I mean, it's a back elbow. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't see no issues with his Judas effect finisher. He's trying to keep his moveset fresh, and he got a victory with it. So listen, I don't think it deserves all the hatred that you're putting on it right now.
Nick Jackson has been doing a spinning back elbow for 12 years, and he landed so much cleaner than the Jericho one. I love the idea of Jericho freshening up his moveset. I just don't like the Judas effect. He's not going to win the match, and him calling himself the Painmaker at the vignette that aired at the Best of Super Juniors was tough to listen to. But this is probably going to be more of his style of a match. I think Okada can mold to Jericho really well. They'll probably have a very good match, but I don't see Jericho winning the title. Yeah,
I don't either. Okada just won it back at the Garden a few months ago, so I don't think that Jericho would be the guy to beat him for it, especially within maybe like 3 months or so of that. If actually less than that, maybe 2 months or so of him winning it. So I think Okada will retain, but I'm sure, like you said, it'll be an entertaining match because all of Okada's matches seem to be very entertaining.
They don't call him the best thing since sliced bread for nothing, Joe. Actually, they don't call him that, period. That being said, I have a very high level of interest in the show. I think there are 3 or 4 very, very good matches on paper that I'm looking forward to seeing. What I noticed was there's no Marty Scurll and no Brody King. That's a little surprising to me, considering they were in Japan for the entire G1 for the Best of Super Juniors. So,
yeah, maybe this card, I don't know if this version I have up is finalized, or maybe they'll get thrown into a 6-man or something of some sort. I don't know how that'll all work. But yes, I have read some of the results of them on the tour, so I don't know why they wouldn't be included in this show, but maybe that'll change before Sunday.
Who knows? We still got time. But that being said, are you excited for Samurai Showdown tomorrow?
No, I'm not, because I'm not going to be home. And by the time I get home, I'm going to be too tired to watch it. So, no.
I honestly, the only match I know on the card is Goldberg and Taker. So, my prediction is Taker.
Okay. I'll go Goldberg.
That's what we do, man. We split it right down the middle, as Fonzie said. That being said, like I said, make sure you follow us on all the social media outlets at All Night Long WP. We were at NXT last weekend. We had some cool pictures up from there. Actually, we had a cool story up from there. We have Evolve coming up. We have Shine coming up. And the one wrestling show each week I seem to be watching consistently live is Wednesday night's Beyond Wrestling Uncharted Territory. So if you are a fan of Beyond Wrestling, be sure to follow us at All Night Long WP everywhere you can find us. YouTube.com/All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. Subscribe, like, rate, review, do all that stuff. And we are this much closer to our own professional wrestling t-shirt store at ProWrestlingTees.com. We're getting there, Joe. We're getting there, buddy.
We are. Don't forget BlueChew.com, promo code WPP. Was it $5?
Yeah, $5 gets that PP up and running is what it does.
Make your weenus a genius. WPP. BlueChew.com.
We're tapping out. He's Joe and I'm Mike. We're tapping out. Hold it.